This is the final episode of the conversation with Pastor Bisi Oladele. I'm interested in knowing how you are coping, managing, your circular activities, responsibilities, job with, your ministry, your church thing. And I also want you to speak to what it takes, to be a wife of a journalist. And I also want, if you will not forget, I want you to talk about this. Who is or are political figures in Oyo State you know one-on-one in the course of the charging your journalism duty that you cannot forget, and why?
3 in 1.
Yes, 3 in 1.
Number 1, how am I coping? How am I managing?
Yes,
it's about setting priorities. That's why I don't have time for flimsy things. It's about setting priorities because I'm always busy. I have important things to do. Church work and journalism work. Don't forget, for those 2 jobs, you are on call 24/7.
Yeah.
Your church member can have an issue or need your advice 12 midnight, 5 a.m., 4 p.m., wherever you are, you have to be there. You have to be there to do your duty. And anything news breaks any time of the day. So it's about setting priorities, not having time for frivolity, things that don't have value. You won't even have time for frivolities anyway. So don't forget that because I'm a Christian, I don't drink, so I don't party, I don't go to clubhouses, I don't do all of those things, and I don't go to where you just be wasting time just talking, all of that. So I don't have time. So setting priorities, that sorts that out.
Okay.
Number 2, what does it take to be the wife of a journalist?
Yes.
You see, I don't know if I'm partial, or if people will say maybe because I've never been a broadcast person, and I always think it's more tasking to be a print journalist. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But I always think it's more tasking to be a print journalist, particularly if you are outside the head office. If you are a correspondent.
Because they expect so much from you.
So much.
Yeah.
So much from you. You are covering everything. Everything. You are covering
a reporter.
Yeah. Okay. So it's very tasking, and God gave me a wife that is very understanding. Interestingly, my wife was a campus journalist. We met. I recruited her into Megaphone News Agency. We met as a...
Let me say very well. This will be very interesting. I can't afford to be very all right.
Yes. She was 2 years my junior in the same paper. She was also studying English and she also loved journalism, so she joined.
Okay.
And she was a member of Megaphone News Agency.
Okay.
That was where we met and the department, and one thing led to the other, and we saw how God we saw
attraction.
So today, the rest is history.
You are not nice. You are preaching. You really want to tell me what I want to
He's a journalist that is married to a journalist.
Okay.
So there is nothing strange to her in all that I do. In fact, she gives me a lot of support. A lot. As a print journalist, as a correspondent, you make calls at odd hours. You can be on call for 1 hour. There are interviews I conducted on phone. Okay, as you are dropping this, some other person is calling you, and it can be tiring for somebody that doesn't understand. Now you're always on phone. You're like children will say, that is always going out. Until digital revolution took over journalism, we were always going outside. You know it. We were always going out to cover one event or the other. We were always going out to attend one meeting or the other.
Sorry, before you cheat me on that wife thing, out of all the ladies on campus then, what is the point of attraction?
Honestly,
why did you have to choose her?
Honestly, I just felt some chemistry. Interestingly,
Not
she
about,
also
not about
she also did she also did a return. Interestingly,
Okay.
so now it was an equilibrium thing.
Okay.
I felt
Or you use seniority.
no. No, I felt something for her, and I that my friend and I said get into
Yeah.
active journalism first,
Yes.
and we were very close. It was my close friend. I said, look at this girl. Oh.
Fine girl.
Do you know this fine girl? Do you know her? And I said, and she said, but she was not a typical girl like that. You will always see on her that she came from a very good home that because of her dressing.
Okay.
She dressed formally, she did, and so you see that this one is from a good home. I just told my friend, I'm feeling some chemistry for this girl. Do you? I said, the guy laughed. I said, you know, today, we were not born again. Today,
It's how you get serious with that one. Let her go. Okay.
And so I just felt that I couldn't resist.
Okay.
That feeling refused to go, and it kept,
Okay.
getting more serious, and we began as friends.
Okay.
And eventually I let her know, look, I feel something for you. And before that, she already saw that this guy,
this
is
guy,
not, I was the editor, so there is something to, so there is something to this editor, the way he's looking at me, the way he's, you understand, so, and at the long last,
okay,
it happened that we got married. So okay, she understood, and she supports in every way possible.
The fact, I hope she didn't give you any trouble when you told her that.
When I wooed her.
When you wooed her. Okay, I think that's the right word.
Well, she already, like I said, she already saw that this guy seems to be in love, and she already too was feeling the same thing too.
Wow.
So she just said, okay, let's see.
Let's give it a try.
Let's just see.
Okay.
Let's see. And so she didn't accept that we should be lovers immediately. She just said, let's see. And we just had a relationship, but not just a friend, just friendship. Until, and as I graduated, because she was 2 years my junior. I graduated. Even from that place, I wrote her a letter because there was no
email at the time.
I wrote her.
So it was that post office
somebody
thing.
Going to Ife. Okay, please let me get to so hostel. Give it to, I knew her room number. Give it to so person and all of the things like that. We did that. So when I visited too, I also visited. If I looked for her, we took photos together. I took her out. We ate and all of the things like that. And eventually, it didn't work initially.
Okay.
Because I went away as a young man. I told you, I didn't have parents that could sponsor me for higher degree. As I was struggling. I needed to survive. That time it was during military regime. There was no job. I had to. So until 2002, we just met in Ibadan again. Okay. No, 2004. Sorry. I came to Ibadan after working in Lagos. I came to Ibadan. She went to the University of Ibadan. I went to see Professor Ayobanjo. No, wait. I went to see Mr. Professor Ayobanjo. Don't forget I'm a UIT. Don't forget I'm a UIT. Okay. So, Professor Ayobanjo, of blessed memory, turned 70 that year.
Oh, okay.
So, I was just trying to come to Ibadan. And I said, I will track down this man. So I tried to go to the Department of English, University of Ibadan. I just met this young lady. How have you been and blah, blah. She also came. She obtained the master's degree form. Okay. And they didn't take her. And she came to see a prof in the Faculty of Art to see if the person could help her.
Well, yeah.
So that was, we met, and that was the beginning of the actual relationship. Yeah, exactly. You are going nowhere.
What will you say if you have to describe that woman? Just a word. What will you say?
Amazing.
Okay. And so
I call her my joy because her name is Titi Layo.
Okay.
Titila Yomi.
Okay.
So I call her my joy.
Is she into journalism
My
too?
joy. She's not into journalism.
All right, okay.
She's not into journalism.
So the political figures.
Yeah, the political figures. So I've met virtually all the political figures that have been since Oyo State, that have the who is who in politics in Oyo State since 1999. I've met and I've had a relationship with at least 60 to 70% of them. But one of them is outstanding. That's the late Governor Abiola Jimobi.
Okay.
We met in 2007, I think, 2007, when he was battling former Governor Alawakala for his 2027 mandate. They were in court then. Met him through a friend of mine who was the closest to him then, Akin Yedele of the then Punch newspaper. I met him through that, and gradually we came to become friends, and until he won election in 2011. And I think he's one of the politicians that I had the closest relationship with.
Who is the most controversial politicians in Oyo State that you can point to? The most controversial politician?
Of course, I would say the late Baba Molete.
Who is what?
Baba Lamidi Adijibu.
Okay.
He was controversial even as a high chief. He was controversial in politics, and he was controversial even on land matters and some other matters. So he was the truly controversial politician.
Is there any interviewee of yours, somebody you wanted to interview, and the person just chased you out for whatever reason? He did not cooperate.
Whether as a special interview or you just run into that person and you want to interview and say no.
In whatever form, the person didn't cooperate, or he just thought.
Yeah, I remember one now.
Made a case out of it and chased you out and stuff like that.
Not that they chased me out.
Okay.
It was Professor Wole Soyinka.
Okay.
Odua Investment Limited in Cocoa House just established a, what do they call it? Museum.
Okay.
On the topmost floor. And they invited the Alaafin of Oyo and Professor Wole Soyinka for the commissioning of the museum. So I was among the few journalists that was invited. So after everything, we were leaving with the GMD of Odua then, Adebayo Jimoh, Mr. Adebayo Jimoh. He wanted to go with Professor Wole Soyinka down to the, it's the topmost floor, from the topmost floor down to, he wanted to go with Professor Wole Soyinka down to the ground floor to see him off at the car park. So I just entered the same lift. I thought I entered their lift. And because he knew me, he knew I was a journalist, and the GMD, because he knew I was a journalist, I was always covering the event and we interacted. He knew me very well. He couldn't say, don't come. So even if he did, I made up my mind I was going to be cool. What did I want to do? I wanted to interview Soyinka. So right in the lift, I said, Prof, this is a wonderful opportunity I've been wanting to. I wanted to say,
get out.
He just my midget. He just we are not talking about any interview. I insisted. I must ask. I cannot have this kind of opportunity with you, Prof. And I said, he just so when we are there, I said, you are stubborn. Oh, you are stubborn. I need to know your name. Before I knew the lift was already on the ground floor, he ran away.
Oh, he didn't spoil your.
But he didn't abuse me. It's just I didn't get what I wanted.
Okay. 2 weeks ago, we're done. You are a journalist. If you are to cast an headline to describe Nigerian journalism and Nigerian journalists, what would that headline be?
I would say Nigeria, journalist, and the challenge of proper practice. That would be my headline.
Okay. Sorry that you talked about, because see, something just struck me now. you said that the background wasn't that good. That the impression you've given me is that you're a self-made man. You said you didn't have parents to send you to tertiary institution.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
For higher degree.
For higher degree. And
They were already old and
Yeah.
They were economically down. They couldn't sponsor me.
Yes,
for higher degree.
what I'm actually interested in is just to, because whatever you say now may help somebody with the challenge or the challenges that you had then, how did you navigate to get to where you are today? Those challenges, what did you do in such a way that it didn't affect you from getting to where you are today?
Well, I'm still working hard to get to my dream place or level in life.
Okay.
But it was really tough that time, I must confess. After graduation, it was not just tough, but extremely tough. I stayed back where I served. I served in a federal government college in Delta State. I stayed back because there was no job in Lagos. So I stayed back. Then I was fired.
Okay.
I stayed back to work. Yeah, no, after my service here.
Okay.
I practically begged the principal to employ me.
Okay.
The principal can only employ level 6 and below.
Okay.
I was level 8.
Okay.
So if you want to stay, if you want to take a job, it will be level 4 or level 6.
Okay.
I said I was ready. There was no job back here to come and take. And at age 30, I couldn't go back to my parents and say, start feeding me. I just needed something that will help me stabilize and get to my next place in life. So I stayed back, and then they owed us 5 months salary. And then people staged the protest, and then the woman decided to throw all of us away. So I got a job as a teacher again there is a Federal College of Education in Asaba. That one just started its international secondary school again. I applied, I came second in the interview. The woman that came first was a retired principal, so she performed better than me by the reason of experience. So eventually the woman said she thought she could cope. So they came for me, and I worked there as a teacher, teaching English and literature. It was in 2002 that I got tired. I just said, this is not what I want for my life. I want something far, far better, and I know I want to do something far better. So I came down back to Ibadan, and it was tough. That was when I started knocking doors of advertising agencies in Lagos, and it was tough, but I will never forget a friend of mine. That my friend that I said connected me with the comments. That was not just the good thing that he did for me. When I decided to move from Ibadan to Lagos in 2003, after staying for 1 year or more in Ibadan without getting anything done, I decided to move to Lagos to go and start a new life. Because he was already working and he was already having some change, he would send me money to cover my transportation. I was living with another friend who is late now. He would send me money. My friend would send me money because he was living in a far place. And the moment I got that job, we both agreed. Since you are a journalist, I'm a journalist, and you are the one mentoring me now, one way or the other, he already got a car. So I moved to his place in Ikorodu.
Okay.
So I was living with him. He would take me to work. I would go and meet him in his own office too. When I finished, he would take me back. So that way, I was saving transport costs. And because my salary was extremely poor, my salary was 12,000 naira. Okay, that 12,000 naira would only take care of my transport if I didn't have nothing else as at that time. So it was very helpful, and he was the one that introduced me to his friend in the comment and said, this guy can write, oh, don't mind him, he has run away. Can you? So it was good, and you had to survive. And I started gradually. I found my love again for journalism, and I was just not mindful of the fact that the reward was very poor. It was just, because it's something I enjoy, I just kept doing it. And as I was producing some good copies, people were noticing me. As I was producing some good copies, You remember I told you I'm better in features and analysis. As I was producing, people were noticing me. And so when I resigned in 2004 to come and do business in Ibadan, in 2007 when I returned again, I said I was feeling a fish out of water, not practicing journalism. So the moment I walked back to Lagos, I said, I said, that's not a problem. Do us a letter immediately. They say, go ahead and work. And so I try to be focused. I don't listen to public opinion about we can complain, it's not enough, but I try to give my best, because it's in giving your best that you can be your best. So in spite of the fact that the reward wasn't really encouraging and the work environment wasn't really stimulating, and I just kept giving my best. I kept giving my best. I was focused, and I thank God that today, though I have not got to where I desire in life, we still have to give thanks to God that I'm not where I was in 2003. I'm not where I was in 2005. We thank God for everything, and I know that by God's grace, I will get to where I desire in life.
Yeah, well, I had that question because, of course, those that see you now, they wouldn't know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And that would be a lesson, for the younger ones that, wherever you are today should not determine, your future. All you just need to do is keep focused, as you said, keep focused, and you get to wherever God wants to take you to. You said you wanted to be a lecturer. Are you still aspiring to be a lecturer? Don't forget you're not an old man. You're not 30.
Age does not affect lecturing.
Okay, so you
lecturing career.
Okay. Starting lecturer too, where?
No. I'm not planning that.
Okay, so what are you planning? Because that's been your first love, if I'm not mistaken.
First love, yes, that's my first love. If you have not
been a journalist, you will have been a lecturer.
Yes,
Okay,
that's my first love, and that's the reason I've registered for my PhD.
Doctor, you wait, Oh, that's good. So in what course?
In mass communication.
Okay.
My master's was in communication.
Oh, okay.
So my PhD is also in mass communication.
Okay. So you have abandoned English, so you can't teach it.
Yes, I'm already fulfilled obtaining first degree in English.
Okay.
And using it, my knowledge of
language,
my study of English has always been helping me in my journalism practice. It has been of tremendous help, in my journalism practice. So I'm okay. Now it's PhD mass communication that I'm eyeing, and honestly, I'm not doing it because I want to use it to go and look for job.
Okay.
That's not, I just want to be a researcher. I love research. I just want to be a researcher, and I want to use my journalism experience. I saw something. Just want to see how I can use that's what I'm actually eyeing. I'm not planning to go and gain employment as a lecturer too, or assistant lecturer. No, that's not what I'm looking at. I don't think I will enjoy being a lecturer today as I would have if I had taken it earlier. I just want to use the knowledge that I want to gain now, that I'm gaining now as a researcher, to use it to solve problems in the society and leverage on my exposure as a journalist to do something different that may not be really popular now. So that's the essence of the PhD I'm studying for.
Yes, sorry. You are the current chairman of the Southwest Guild of Online Publishers.
Yes, please.
All right. Can you say something about digital journalism now? And I want you to also localize it in Oyo State. By appraising digital journalism in Southwest.
All right, thank you very much. With digital revolution, journalism is also a victim, in quotes. He's a victim because gone are the days when people wake up in the morning and go to the vendor stand or wait for vendors who used to hawk papers. Gone are the days that when you get to the office, your paper is already on your table, and at your spare time, you go through papers to know what's going on in the day. Digital revolution has changed all of that. Because of that, journalists are also moving from traditional means of serving news and other content to digital means of serving news and other content. Because of that, we now have proliferation, if you like, of online news publishing firms.
Okay.
So we have a lot of online news publishing firms now, and the digital revolution brought a lot of advantages. One of it is that it's easy to set up. Like, I don't have money to set up a national newspaper now. I don't have the billion that it will require to buy the machine to recruit people for the press, to open offices in about 15 to 20 states, to recruit journalists, to recruit editors, to recruit accountants, to recruit admin people, to recruit marketing people, to recruit all of those things. But if I can set up a website,
Okay.
and I can have 2, 3, 4 people we can come together to source news, we can upload, people can read, and we are in business.
Okay.
This advantage is what has made it easy for plurality of publishing, news publishing. And that's why we have, in addition to the traditional media that are still operating, we have a lot of journalists now that have gone into what they call independent publishing in the United States, where you have a news publishing platform that has not more than 10 staff.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Unlike, you get to Nigerian Tribune now, the staff will not be less than
70.
What do you mean 70?
I'm talking about reporters.
150 all over, including editorial and non-editorial.
Okay.
Okay, but we now have a news publishing firm that has not more than 10 people, and they are publishing, and people are reading them. Okay, and they are in business. They may not be as big. The volume of their transaction will be very, very low, but at least they are in business. They are able to pay salaries, they are able to be out there, they are able to attract advertisement, they are able to make some impact. And that's the aim thing in the world now. So it's these people that came together because we have common interests.
Yeah.
So that's the Guild of Southwest Online Publishers, News Publishers. So they just elected me the chairman a few months ago, and we cover Southwest Nigeria because we are relating with our colleagues in Southwest Nigeria. And we are having our 9th anniversary in June. We're celebrating our 9th anniversary in June. It's going to be here in Ibadan, and it's going to be big. That's the only thing now. The way news is produced has changed. The way news is consumed has changed. The way news is shared has changed. And this digital revolution is what gave birth to online news publishing that makes it easy and possible for individuals who do not have big money, at least to start their own businesses.
With this proliferation, can there not be an integration, 1, 2, 3 coming together out of, maybe, this publisher collapsing his own media, what I mean is coming together and, partnership with just
for consolidation.
Yes, with just a tie to integration.
Yeah, it's something that's on the table because we all see what is on the ground now, that it's something that is on the table in the future. But you see, before somebody can agree to collapse his business and join others, the person must have seen the real need for it. The person must have practiced, must have done the business, must have realized there's no need for me to be doing it alone. Coming together will bring benefits to all of us. But if the person has not done that, but we are at the initial stage where people are out there doing their best, trying it out. So a time is coming that people will see, I think it is better for 4 or 5 of us to come together so that we can be big, so that we can combine our talent, we can combine our resources, we can combine our experience, we can combine our contact, we can combine our network, we can combine, and so we can make a bigger impact, and then the business can survive for many more years.
So your last remark.
It's very interesting being a journalist, but it's also very interesting being a professional in other fields. what is most important is in whatever you do, try to be your best and try to be the best. Give your best and aim at being the best.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, my brother.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. God bless you.
Well, we've come to the end of the conversation. As I've told you earlier on, that it's not going to be that serious. You can see us that we've been laughing and laughing and laughing. That's how we also want you to laugh. But if you enjoyed this episode, we are appealing to you that you comment, you subscribe to Prime Star TV. We will appreciate it because that is the only way we can get that feedback from you. Until we come your way again, keep loving.